Thank you, Councillor Hoare. Any other discussion?
Can I just want to make one final brief point, speaking to changes being made on the fly. I've talked to a lot of folks in the last couple of days, and that's been a sort of constant theme is like, oh, there's so much on the go, there's so much changing, and just I want to give like my own personal experience a little bit of background. One of the number one complaints that we've faced as councillors has been that development is stymied, that things move too slowly, and as a council, I think we've decided that this, getting this matter before council so that we can look at it thoroughly, correctly is a priority, and there are a huge number of moving parts, and so this is just the flip side of trying to push for efficiency. Is we don't spend 3 months doing what might be done with a lot of work in 3 days or 3 weeks. So the fact that stuff has been changing, that to me is not worrisome if we've got faith in the system and that it's working properly, and really it's a sign that we are able to fast track things and to move quickly when we have to. So if there's anyone out there that thinks, oh man, this is just a total whirlwind, no one knows what's going on, I would vehemently disagree. I'd say it's a bit of a whirlwind, but the reason it feels that way is because everyone's been working to try to deal with it in a way that respects the fact that time is money, and this is a priority of council and of the community.
Thanks, Councillor Mashty. Any other comments? Okay, call the question. All in favour? None opposed. That carries. Thank you. The second bylaw item on the agenda is District of Ucluelet Official Community Plan Bylaw number 1366, 2024, and District of Ucluelet Zoning Amendment Bylaw number 1367, 2024. And this will be presented by Mr. Harding.
Thank you, Mayor. And again, I'm going to just turn this over to Mr. Brown to highlight what has been in front of council and any questions that council may have.
Thank you, Mr. Harding. To your worship, to you and council. I will. Much of the presentation was provided for the public hearing, so I won't go over there. But I will. I do want to highlight just a couple items for your consideration that are important. As you're aware, we have been working to make necessary amendments to the covenants and also follow the proper process. And also, I want to give thanks to Josh and in particular Juliet on the other end of things, because they have done the same. So has to happen on both sides. So with that said, you've have the information with regards to what the development is and what the changes are, both initially and then after rescinding third reading or rescinding back to second and granting a new second reading as amended. And the changes that went with that. In particular, the change there with a little bit with respect to the layout and some of the loosening around the short-term vacation rentals, as you are aware. And you've also heard from the public hearing and to weigh that as part of your decision. There is 4 recommendations in the package. The first is the third reading of the OCP amendment and the third reading of the zoning amendment bylaw. If council is confident to make a decision on those, staff would recommend moving forward with those. I do need to highlight, though, that part of the initial direction from council was to bring back to work with the applicant on that covenant, as we have referenced, and we believe that covenant is in a place where we would recommend execution of it. Just due to the timing of it, our lawyer has provided the advice that typically you want to see a covenant registered, but at a bare minimum, it's submitted through the lawyer to Land Title's office. That submission has yet to occur, just the timing. It takes time, and as we've agreed on the changes, they have yet to been formalized into that legal document that our lawyer has vetted and would submit to Land Title. So we're not able, as from our position, to suggest that council move forward with adoption at this meeting. That would be a decision for council ultimately to make, but as we did receive legal advice that we should wait for it to be at least submitted before considering adoption, we do have to relay that to you. That is our obligation. So there is the motions there for adoption, which is the third and the fourth, the OCP and the zoning bylaw respectively. As a potential option for council's consideration, not outlined in this report, things are moving fast, would be to hold a special council meeting as quickly as possible with that covenant finalized and adoption could be granted. But I'll turn it over to Mr. Harding if he has anything to add to that. But I did want council to be aware of those options and also of our obligation to let you know of the legal advice and how that informs our recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. So on that, again, we feel that we could get the covenants all ready and finalized and have a special council as early as next week. If not, it could be the following week. But we think that way we continue to move this forward. But that way we have followed our legal counsel's advice. Again, at the end of the day, it's council's choice. But we, again, as Councillor Mafty mentioned, we're trying to do everything correctly, but also quickly. Sometimes with that, though, there's a little pause, and that the pause would be we'd have to have another special meeting of council for the rezoning, not necessarily for the OCP, right?
I'd recommend just doing them both.
Oh,
As
do them
final.
both? Okay.
Would that special council meeting, would that have to be in person?
I'd turn to Mr. Chow on what that has to be, but I know councils have not been in person for all during COVID, so you could do a. I'll turn to Mr. Chow. He'll let us know.
Based on the procedure bylaw, it does allow. I think I have to read again. Like up to 2 council member is on internet, but I prefer to have the 3 council which have a quorum in the room.
So there'd have to be 3 here and 2 on Zoom.
I think it's prefer, yeah.
We're just, what we were trying to do is avoid another council meeting.
I'm just wondering how much is this? Sorry, I didn't
Go
mean to
ahead.
cut you off. Yeah, through the mayor. Yeah, I just thought if everything is done and this is just strictly like an administrative point at this point, and there's been agreement between the 2 different legal parties, I'm not sure what dire consequence we may run into by going ahead with these today. I don't think anything is going to come up. I know, would we be remiss here if we were to read these out today? Is there any ramification that you can think of that?
There is ramification, and it's nothing against the applicant. It's just against all scenarios in this case. There is the risk that the covenant does not get registered. The other party does not sign. That is a risk. And then the zoning has been officially read, and the covenant is not registered and will not be registered. Again, that's no comment on this particular applicant, but that is the risk outlined by the lawyer.
It does make sense to take that legal advice, I think. I was just trying to avoid another council meeting by maybe us just doing it by Zoom.
Again, Mr. Chow will have to get back to you on what's permissible under your procedural bylaw.
Yeah, as I said, it's allowed. It's not like not allowed. That's just, but if 5 all councillors all on Zoom meeting, we may just have to coordinate a little bit of logistics on it.
Okay, well, any other questions to staff? Comments? So there are 4 recommendations, and we can move the first 2 clearly, if that's council's wish.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's move the 3rd readings here. I'll move a recommendation that council give 3rd reading to the District of Ucluelet Official Community Plan Amendment Bylaw number 1366, 2024 as amended.
I'll second.
Councillor Noel moved. Councillor Mafty second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? None opposed. That carries.
And I also move that council give third reading to the District of Ucluelet zoning amendment bylaw number 1367, 2024 as amended.
I'll second.
Councillor Noel moved, Councillor Mafty second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? None opposed, that carries.
And did I hear we can move one of these adoptions or neither of them?
Through you, Your Worship, the OCP is less, from a legal perspective, there's much less risk with that. However, if you are going to consider adoption, it would be our advice just to simply adopt both in one night for ultimate cleanliness and mitigating legal risk to the district.
Would have been nice to have just maybe an additional motion, a caveat, but we'll play along. I just want to say thank you to your organization. The adoption is going to come. It's going to come and go like a westerly here in through town. I think this has been a long journey for your group, and I think it's unfortunate that we weren't able to, the community wasn't able to get the facility located in the community. I think that's a big loss, but I think the bigger win is what you're providing to do for housing. It's just not a foundation dropping on to here. I think this is the risk that you're taking personally, financially, in order to do this. I think I can't understate many sleepless nights for you, and I know the passion that you have is debt-driven, and that keeps a guy motivated. I know I live like that every day, and so thank you for doing this. And I'm delighted that the only hang-up here is a legal matter. I think that the people to my left are supportive of this development. I heard today that the majority of the group, the community is. And you're like many developers that come to town. Most of them leave with their duffel bag in the back and broke. I can go to every developer that's come to this community. All they left behind were beautiful neighborhoods, but they didn't leave with sacks of money. And I think that there's a preconceived notion that you're going to be have a private jet at the airport and you're going to race off. I know it's totally opposite. You've created a bunch more headaches here and commitments that you're doing to the community. And I just want to say thank you for doing that.
Thanks, Councillor Noel. I was hoping for adoption today, but what sort of time frame are we thinking of to get the covenant signed and registered?
The final covenant as what has been signed hasn't been reviewed by, hasn't had time for our legal counsel to review.
Mayor, just to answer the question, it could be as early as Tuesday or even Monday.
Monday's a holiday. but-
Oh, Monday's a holiday. Okay, Tuesday. It could be as early as Tuesday.
Okay, well, that is reassuring.
Mhm.
I'm holding you to it.
I would just, forgive me, but I do want to remind council that as third reading has been given, the public hearing has been closed, no new information has to be vetted by staff to make sure there's no new information for council, just so we don't invalidate the process and have to have another public hearing. So that's the one item. This would be a very short gap between third and adoption. Some cases, many months go by, but just as we've been here on this application before, I just feel obliged to remind council of that.
Perfect. And luckily it is a long weekend, so hopefully we'll all be doing things and not receiving new information. All right, so that ends that item. Oops. That's okay. Are we accepting comments from the public? Would that not jeopardize the new information?
Correct. Yeah, no comments from the public. Friendly conversations with the neighbor. It's essentially that council has received all the information they are to receive on the application.
Thanks. Okay, so we'll skip over that part then. And I will move that the July 31st, 2025 special council meeting. Oh, there's an information item. We have one information report. This report is about the West Coast Multiplex Society's request to council, and it will be presented by Mr. Chow, our Manager of Corporate Services. Sorry
Through
about
me,
that.
through me to council, this is the follow-up items. As last one of the council meeting, council asked staff to bring back some background information. I spoke to Abby before the meeting. Our own mass park and recreation plan still underway, so have no any wording, but they talk to the Multiplex Society. Staff reach out to Tofino, provide some background information there, and the council can give us some direction. Thank you.
The multiplex is an interesting one. I just had a scripted something to say here because I think I would like to give a little bit of a direction and just put this on the table for the group. I support the vision behind the West Coast Multiplex. It has a regional value and will be an asset to families, youth, and the wider community. I have a strong desire to see the pool, a little plug before the ice rink. But I also have to be honest, Ucluelet has some very real and immediate priorities, our sanitary infrastructure and our fire hall that cannot take a back seat. We've already directed staff to apply for Strategic Priorities Fund dollars for those projects, and we need to protect that. What I'm proposing is a balanced approach. I'm going to suggest a motion that hopefully you guys will support, that we will support the multiplex with a letter and confirm its inclusion as a regional priority in our up-and-coming Parks and Recreational Master Plan. But we also need to be clear in the letter that this does not compromise or supersede the district's own SPF applications. This way, we're being good regional partners while still being accountable to our residents, and that is a critical infrastructure that we're already said is our top priority. I do have a motion scribed. If you guys are, if you're supportive of this, I just wanted to kind of get to the end. Oh, look at that, mysteriously presented itself. I think I don't want to jeopardize our applications that we've got, but the next breath, I don't want to give the multiplex any kind of false pretenses, but also give them, I think, most of what they're looking for. So just for food for thought.
All right, let's see if there are any other comments from council.
I agree with this philosophy. I think you rarely hear a bad request. You rarely hear a request for funding that you don't want to do everything you can to honor. But at the same time, we do put ourselves in a position of either being disingenuous and saying like, oh yeah, we're going to totally support this in every way we can, and then we go and we ask for money for other things. So I think this is honest. I think this is realistic, and I don't have any objections. I feel like the alternative is to say, oh yeah, we're going to recognize this as our top priority, and then we're going to go to UBCM and advocate for all of these other much more immediate concerns. And at the end of the day, we're here to represent the people of Ucluelet. This multiplex is going to serve the people of Ucluelet, the people of Tofino, people in the ACRD. It's a bigger project, so I don't think that we can purport to say that this is our community's top priority, especially when we have other competing ones.
Thank you, Councillor Mafti. I think what's the only thing missing from that motion is the fact that they're looking for a letter of support. Okay, it's in there. Any other comments from council? Would you like to make that motion, Councillor Noel?
Yep. Okay. There you go. Let me take a look. Make sure the one on the phone is the same as that. The council provide a letter of support to the West Coast Multiplex Society in recognizing the regional importance of the project and confirming that the facility will be identified in Ucluelet's future Parks and Recreational Master Plan. And further, the council indicate that this support does not supersede or compromise the district's current Strategic Priorities Fund applications for essential municipal infrastructure.
Do I have a seconder?
Second that.
Councillor Anderson seconds. Any further discussion?
Thank you.
No, seeing none. All in favor? None opposed, that carries. Thanks for doing that in advance.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to kind of move it along, so thank you.
So are we doing question period?
You can do question period. It can't be on the
On
reading of
the-
the rezoning or the OCP,
or
but
the
it could
public
be on the
hearing.
housing agreement
Okay,
or on what you just passed on the motion.
okay.
Representative.
So we will now move into question period. This is an opportunity for the public to ask questions and comment on matters within council's jurisdiction. Representations about bylaws that council is prohibited from holding a public hearing on, or bylaws that were subject to a public hearing, are not permitted at this time. Are there any audience members that wish to address council? Yes, please. Just your name and address, please.
Hi, I'm Julia Taff, 1553 Larch Road, Clulet.
Hi, I'm Carrie Ho, 1445 Helen Road. We're both volunteer directors of the West Coast Multiplex Society.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for making that motion. It really means a lot to know that the multiplex will be mentioned in the Parks and Rec plan. That's really encouraging for us. We know it's a long-term vision, and it is very complex when we're all competing for funding. So it really does make sense. It is a regional project. And I just wanted to, I feel like the letter that we wrote was an opportunity to ask for a number of things. The letter was one of them. And there is another idea just to think about other ways the council can support the multiplex. And so my question was really, that letter that you're going to provide is really great, mentioning it in the Parks and Rec plan. And I was just wondering if there's other opportunities to consider and be creative in ways that we can support the vision for the multiplex.
Great, thank you for your comments. Any other, anyone else here that would like to get up and address council? Nope. Seeing none, are there any members of the public attending by Zoom that wish to, or telephone, that wish to address council?
Thank you, Mayor McEwen. There's no one with their hand raised on Zoom. Thank you.
And have we received any emails to communityinput@ucluelet.ca during the meeting?
No, we have not. Thank you.
All right, great. Then I will move that the July 31st, 2025 special council meeting be closed to the public pursuant to the following sections of the community charter. 90(1)(g), litigation or potential litigation affecting the municipality. 90(1)(I), the receipt of advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that. I'll make that motion at 4:37.
I'll second.